Good morning, my dear students. Today's topic of discussion is the fourth part of autonomic nervous system, and that is going to be sympathetic system, or this is also known as the adrenergic system. Why is it called adrenergic system? Because adrenaline is the main neurotransmitter which is playing a key role on different organs to maintain the physiological system in case of sympathetic system. So the adrenergic, more precisely, it could have been called noradrenergic transmission, is restricted to the sympathetic division of autonomic nervous system. There are three closely related endogenous catecholamines which act as signal molecules. Out of this, two are monoamines, noradrenaline and adrenaline. Obviously, the dopamine is also a similar kind of thing. So, the three neurotransmitters are noradrenaline, adrenaline, and dopamine. All of them are monoamines and they are metabolized by enzyme called monoamine oxidase. Noradrenaline acts as transmitter at postganglionic sympathetic sites except at sweat glands and some vasodilator fibers. At sweat glands, the neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. And in certain areas of brain also we'll see the effect of noradrenaline. Small quantities of noradrenaline are also synthesized by or secreted by rather adrenal medulla. Whereas adrenaline is secreted by the adrenal medulla and it's a major hormone, it may also have a transmitter role in the brain but not at the peripheral sympathetic nerve terminals. Now, how is it synthesized? We can demonstrate the synthesis of catecholamines in two ways. We will show you the pictorial presentation as well as we can biochemically demonstrate to you how this is going to be synthesized in human body. Now let's check it out. The initial stage, if you just draw a structure of benzene, it is, I think all of you know. So, and add a ethyl group with that, and on the second carbon of the ethyl group you draw a COOH, an acid group, and an amine group NH2. So that is basically phenylalanine, and via aromatic L-amino acid transmitter this phenylalanine is not transported inside the system, that means in the nerve terminals. So it requires conversion. It is converted in liver, and it is converted in the liver by an enzyme called phenylalanine hydroxylase, and that makes tyrosine. The tyrosine will be transmitted, I mean it is coming inside this nerve terminals via this transporter mechanism. So the tyrosine is ultimately undergoing metabolism by tyrosine hydroxylase, which is a specific and rate limiting enzyme, and its inhibition by alpha methyl paratyrosine or metyrosine results in depletion of catecholamines. This inhibitor can be used in pheochromocytoma before surgery and in inoperable cases of different surgical problems to block synthesis of catecholamines. All other enzymes of catecholamine synthesis are rather non-specific and can act on closely related substrates. Like in the next step you will see, once the tyrosine hydroxylase is acting and it's catalyzing tyrosine to DOPA. What does it mean? It means dihydroxyphenylalanine. When this tyrosine is made, the structure of this benzene is is being changed because hydroxylation occurs, and you will get a OH group. That means the phenol structure is there. when you are seeing the dihydroxyphenylalanine, you will see the benzene is having hydroxyl group at 3 and 4 position, and that is known as catechol. That structure is known as catechol, and that is the reason why when it is attached with ethylamines, these substances like adrenaline and noradrenaline are also known as catecholamines. Now, this DOPA or dihydroxyphenylalanine is converted to dopamine by aromatic L-amino acid decarboxylase. This is the enzyme which is catalyzing the process, and that decarboxyl enzyme can form serotonin also from the very other compound 5-hydroxytryptophan. So it's a non-specific enzyme because they are all monoamines. So almost similar kind of enzymes may act on these two and for the synthesis of both dopamine and serotonin. And usually alpha methyl dopamine from alpha methyl dopa can also be synthesized by the same enzyme called dopa decarboxylase. Now, synthesis of noradrenaline usually takes place inside the granule. So that is a little bit of difference in the term. In case of acetylcholine, I have used the term vesicle. This is also a vesicle, but it contains a pigment called chromogranin and ATP and magnesium. Hence, it is called granule. And within this granule, it is taken up by a transporter system, VMAT, and here dopamine is converted to noradrenaline, and this enzyme which is responsible for this is beta hydroxylase. While the initial conversion from dopa to dopamine, the COOH group from the first the second carbon of the ethyl group was eliminated in form of CO2, and in this whole process, this process is actually happening in the cytoplasm, whereas this process, conversion of dopamine to noradrenaline, is happening inside the vesicle, or rather more precisely inside the granules. Now, synthesis of noradrenaline occurs in all adrenergic neurons, while that of adrenaline occurs only in adrenal medullary cells. So, some part of noradrenaline should be there in the adrenal medulla for the conversion of adrenaline. And for conversion of noradrenaline to adrenaline, you require one enzyme, and that is known as P-N-methyl transferase. And this methyl transferase enzyme will transfer a methyl group in the first carbon of that catecholamine structure, and that is the difference between noradrenaline, the structure of noradrenaline and adrenaline. In adrenaline, you have no methyl group. In adrenaline, you have one methyl group, that is CH3 group, whereas in case of noradrenaline, you don't have any methyl group, and that is the reason why you are getting that mnemonic of NOR, NOR. It stands for N-OHNI radical. It means the nitrogen of the amine group that is not having anything, any radical in it. OHNI stands for without, and R stands for radical. So ultimately, to reach adrenal medullary cells, noradrenaline require high concentration of glucocorticoid, and reaching there through intraadrenal portal circulation for induction of methylating enzymes. Now you have some receptors over there. One is there as alpha 2, another one is there which is not shown here is beta 2. They are like a check valve. Alpha 2 will actually check the release of norepinephrine. So alpha 2 agonist will be effective in blocking the release of norepinephrine, whereas beta 2 will increase the release of norepinephrine. So because these are autoreceptor and these are pre-synaptic receptors. Now the just like the acetylcholine release, the calcium come inside, and as the noradrenaline is stored inside the synaptic vesicles or granules rather within the adrenergic nerve terminal, the vesicular membrane actively taken up dopamine from the cytoplasm, and the final step of synthesis takes place inside the vesicle, which contains dopamine beta hydroxylase. It is converting it to noradrenaline, and ultimately they are stored in a complex with ATP at a ratio of around 4:1, which is absorbed on a protein chromogranin. So that is the reason why it is called granule. In the adrenal medulla, the norepinephrine or noradrenaline, thus formed within the chromaffin granules, diffuses out into the cytoplasm, and methylated and adrenaline is formed, and again taken up by a separate set of granules. The cytoplasmic pool of catecholamine is kept low by this enzyme. This pool is kept low by an enzyme called MAO, that is monoamine oxidase, which is present in the outer surface of mitochondria. Next part is called the release of catecholamines. The nerve impulse coupled release of catecholamine takes place by exocytosis, just like acetylcholine, and all the vesicular contents norepinephrine, noradrenaline, adrenaline, ATP, dopamine beta hydroxylase, chromogranin, they are all poured out. In case of vesicles which in addition contain peptides like enkephalin, neuropeptide Y, these co-transmitters are simultaneously released. The release is modulated by presynaptic receptors like alpha 2 and beta 2, which I mentioned before. The control of alpha 2 is inhibitory. The autoreceptors of other, that means the receptors which are controlling the release of the same one, I mean the same neurotransmitter, that is called the autoreceptor. If it is controlling the release of other things like serotonin, then it will be calling as heteroreceptor. So these autoreceptors of other co-transmitters also inhibit neurotransmitter release. In addition, numerous heteroreceptors are expressed in the adrenergic neuron. Now, indirectly acting sympathomimetic amines are there, like tyramine, amphetamine. They also induce release of norepinephrine. There are some mixed acting sympathomimetic like tyramine. They are also helping in the release of norepinephrine. Now, once these are released, almost 70% of norepinephrine will be taken up by an active amine pump, that is NET pump, that is norepinephrine transport system, and it transports norepinephrine by a sodium coupled mechanism. It takes up norepinephrine or noradrenaline at a higher rate than adrenaline and been labeled as uptake 1. So this is called uptake 1, neuronal uptake 1, axonal uptake 1, where noradrenaline 70% is taken up. It is not undergoing metabolism. In case of acetylcholine, 100% of the acetylcholine was undergoing metabolism by enzyme called cholinesterase, but here 70% is going neuronal uptake or axonal uptake or uptake 1, and rest of the 30% they will undergo the process called metabolism. Now, once this is taken up, this norepinephrine, this membrane of intracellular vesicles has another amine pump called vesicular monoamine transporter system, and that is called VMAT2, where it transfers catecholamine from cytoplasm to the interior of the storage vesicle. So it is being stored there. VMAT2 transporters monoamines by exchanging with hydrogen ions being stored there. And then comes the extraneuronal uptake, where it is carried out by extraneuronal amine transmitter and other organic cation transporters and OCT2 into cells of other tissues. In contrast to norepinephrine, this uptake transports of adrenaline at a higher rate than that of noradrenaline and is not sodium dependent and is not inhibited by something like cocaine. If somebody is abusing a drug like cocaine, it will prevent the uptake 1 or neuronal uptake of norepinephrine. So the concentration of norepinephrine will increase in the synaptic cleft, which will bind with these receptors at the postsynaptic level, the alpha 1, beta 2, and it may lead to severe hypertension, even stroke, myocardial infarction, or hypertensive emergency. But this can be inhibited by the extraneuronal uptake can be inhibited by corticosteroid, whereas neuronal uptake can be inhibited by cocaine itself. Next comes the part called metabolism of catecholamines. The pathway of metabolism of catecholamines are a little bit different. Part of the norepinephrine leaking out from the vesicles into the cytoplasm, as well as something taken up in the axonal transport, is metabolized by monoamine oxidase, while that which diffuses into circulation is first acted upon by catechol O-methyl transferase in the liver. So that is catechol O-methyl transferase is another enzyme which is responsible for the metabolism of rest of the amount, 30% of norepinephrine and epinephrine, or noradrenaline and adrenaline. They are the similar thing, just the different names. Other intermediate step enzymes involved are aldehyde adireductase, aldehyde dehydrogenase, alcohol dehydrogenase, but they don't have not much of significance. And ultimately, the major metabolite excreted in urine are vinyl mandelic acid and 3-methoxy 4-hydroxy phenyl glycol, along with some norepinephrine, normetanephrine, 3,4-dihydroxy mandelic acid. These metabolites are mostly conjugated with glucuronic acid or sulfate before excretion in urine. Now there are postsynaptic receptors following metabolism, or even before metabolism, they are binding with these receptors and they are showing different types of physiological action which are being demonstrated in the picture over here. So the same picture is being demonstrated repeatedly. Now I will tell you about the distribution of adrenergic receptor. Place those receptors in this picture and you will be able to understand which receptor is actually responsible for the action of adrenaline and noradrenaline. So let's go back to the distribution of receptors. These are adrenoreceptors. Usually these are of 3 types, 5 types: alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2, and beta 3. Beta 3 is actually distributed in adipose tissue, so we may ignore that because that is not for the training of the undergraduates. Whereas the alpha 1 is the distribution, as I said, you see the picture once more and you place alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1 and beta 2 according to that. The function of alpha 1 following the binding of norepinephrine with alpha 1 or adrenaline with alpha 1 is vasoconstriction. It has increased peripheral resistance, increased blood pressure, it will cause mydriasis, increased closure of internal sphincter of the bladder. Whereas in case of alpha 2, it will inhibit norepinephrine release, it will inhibit acetylcholine release, it will inhibit insulin release. Whereas the beta 1, it will be an enzyme which is present in the heart. So it is increase release of renin, increase myocardial contractility. It The renin release is from kidney, from juxtaglomerular apparatus. It causes increased lipolysis, and the beta 2 is present in the skeletal muscle. It causes vasodilatation. It is also present in the lung smooth muscle, so it causes bronchodilation. It causes the muscle and liver glycogenolysis and increase release of glucagon. Ultimately, the beta 2 agonists are also responsible for relaxing uterine smooth muscle, and hence they are known as tocolytic agents. Those drugs are known as tocolytic agents. They may delay labor. So those drugs are ritodrine, isosuxeptine. We'll learn all these aspects later. Now, out of the main three drugs, the adrenaline, which will have action on all four receptors, alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1 and beta 2. Beta 3 you can ignore. Norepinephrine, it has action on alpha 1 and alpha 2 and beta 1, but not on beta 2. So it has no beta 2 action. Whereas isoprenaline has action only on beta receptors. So isoprenaline has no, I'm sorry, I can't focus it properly, but the thing is isoprenaline is written at the end and it has no alpha action. It only has beta action, beta 1 and beta 2. The action of isoprenaline is beta 1 and beta 2. So it is only restricted to this. Hence it will increase heart rate and causes vasodilatation and fall in blood pressure. So the function of all these drugs will be again discussed later. So now we know the systems. As we know, it is under the control of both the things, the acetylcholine and the cholinergic system and the sympathetic system, and the sympathetic system is marked in the red color, whereas the cholinergic system is marked in the blue color. The distribution of receptors you can understand. Once you see the distribution of receptors and the role of different receptors, you will be able to understand which receptors is present where. It is given in your book. So if you read your book, or once we'll discuss these things probably in the class, in the lecture class, you will be able to understand these matters. So if we compare the transport of acetylcholine with the adrenaline, you see that here the choline transferase, this choline transport is a rate limiting step, then the formation of acetylcholine, and basically the acetylcholine is undergoing vesicular uptake, then followed by there are different drugs which are blocking at different places, which I already discussed. The main difference is once this depolarization occurs due to the voltage gated entry of calcium, then there will be release of acetylcholine. Once the acetylcholine is released, it is completely metabolized by acetylcholine esterase. There is no such uptake happening in case of acetylcholine, just like noradrenaline. In case of noradrenaline, there will be 70% uptake, but in case of acetylcholine, there will be no uptake. So that is the most fundamental thing you have to remember, and the metabolizing enzyme for acetylcholine is going to be cholinesterase, true and pseudo both, whereas in case of the previous one, that is the main one, the norepinephrine and epinephrine, the metabolizing enzymes are MAO in the cytoplasm, that means monoamine oxidase in the cytoplasm, and COMT, primarily catechol-O-methyl transferase in the liver. So with this, we are concluding our today's presentation on sympathetic nervous system or adrenergic nervous system. Thank you so much.